Either anything like does it smell like there's an odor permeating from your hands, whether it's the smell of fruit and vegetables or even just like that smells nasty. It's something I touched something that's got to be washed off right now, even though
I
you
have
haven't touched it.
never, I have never had a smell like that. That is very fascinating.
I don't know of many people who have had their hands just smell like that unless they've specifically done something recently.
Well,
Yeah,
I think part of it stems from my medical condition because when my hands get very dry, or in some
forgot.
cases
Yeah,
or in some cases where they get very sweaty, they just especially the sweaty part, they just absorb everything because they're swelling up and they're inflating in size. So when they shrink back down, all those juices and smells and dirt and all that stuff just kind of stays there, even if I wash it out. Um, so it's very interesting because I'll go to work, or I'll be walking around my house, and just suddenly my hand smells like bananas, or or I'll smell like that smells like buttered popcorn from last night, but I took a shower and everything. The odor just resides there. I can't.
hmm.
You guys don't have that problem. That's just a me thing.
Nah,
Seemingly
man.
just a
Yeah,
you thing.
bro. Yeah, I'm not trying to leave you out, but yeah, I've never
I
had that.
mean, the worst I get with anything like that, just as a smoker, is just the lingering smell of smoke on me, but that's not specifically my hands.
Well, fine.
Okay,
Let's move away from hands. Is there any part of your body that, other than like clothing, is there any part of your body that just like absorbs odors that you guys, other than your armpits too, that you just notice I can't get rid of that smell, or
I'm
why does
gonna
it
be
smell
honest.
that way? You don't have that issue.
I, I don't know. Like, I think that's just a sign of getting old. That old people really think of smells. Like my aunt, like she always smelled like mothballs, but I think that was because she just had mothballs everywhere. I think that's just a sign of getting old. Over time, people just starts getting that smelling smell. Now, if you start smelling like anchovies or something, we'd have an issue. I'm like, yeah, I just can't get this anchovy smell away. Like, God, dog, bro. Like, I don't know what soap you're using, but pretty sure you ain't supposed to be sweating anchovies.
No, that you don't want to smell like fish all day. That's definitely a
Yeah,
problem, unless you are a fisherman. Which
unless you,
actually,
yeah.
what was that?
No, that's a good point. If you are a fisherman, like, is it because you eat too much fish, your body like pushes it out your pores, or is
No,
it like,
actually, I've talked to a lot of fishermen. I've been fishing many times myself, and a lot of them say that the smell just kind of comes from the fact that you're handling that stuff all day and you're not taking a shower for 8, 10, 12 hours. So the residue, the environment, all the fish that you handle, whether it's the feed that goes into the water, or the actual fish you're pulling out of the water, it just yeah, you can wash it off with some water and some soap, but you have to remember that this is a creature that's been swimming for its whole life in that grime, and now you're just handling it like it's like it's tomorrow's food. So
true?
it just kind of soaks into the body. I guess that kind of also ties into the hand smell thing, is that it's just something I do all the time. But yeah, I guess
Yeah.
fishermen do have an issue with their body smell. Are there any other professions or industries where people just start smelling
Mhm.
all the time, other than like coal miners? Or is it just like fishermen are the only ones that really carry a pervasive smell?
I've heard that people that work in like cookie factories always smell like cookies.
I need to find me a cookie factory girl.
That'd be nice.
That'd be
Well,
nice. And then you'd hate the smell of cookies after a while. Then you'd be like, man, girl, if you don't quit that job.
nah, that's only if the relationship goes bad. Anyway, though,
Okay.
welcome to Unfiltered Pineapple. I'm Matthew. I'm
Hey.
here with Miles and Orik.
Yeah.
Welcome
What's
to the
up?
show.
I almost forgot we were on a podcast. That's how plain this conversation was.
That's about normal for us.
Yeah, I can be bland sometimes. It's a bland but strange topics. So yeah, going back to fishing, have you guys ever been fishing before? Miles, I know you have, or at least I know you
I am,
planned on doing it because you had the
I
fishing
am,
poles and everything.
I am an avid fisherman. I freaking love fishing. I tell you, my favorite fishing is shark fishing. I tell everybody, you go out there and you battle yourself with almost the king of the sea. It's a great experience. Now the real king of the sea, I always say, is the orcas and the killer whales, and you better never catch one of them because you going to jail.
Oh, you're
I doubt you'd be
yeah.
catching one of them anyway.
You going straight to it.
Baby, even the babies are the size of boats sometimes, Miles. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, my biggest shark I ever caught was 9 foot, and that was 9 foot hammerhead out in Myrtle Beach, and that was probably a 45-minute fight.
As for me, most I've ever really done fishing wise is just a bit of like freshwater fishing off the side of a lake or something. Always catch and release because I'm not a fish person. I don't really eat it. I can cook it, I can prepare it, but I don't really eat it. So it was just a passing hobby, something to kill some time.
Is that something you do with family, or is that like you just said one day, I'm going to take my granddad's fishing poles and go find a lake and
Uh,
start casting?
That's a good point.
most of the time it was usually either just me on my own, bored, wanting to do something. Uh, one or two friends. Back when I was out in Oklahoma, we lived right on the side of a lake out there, and so we just walked down there with some rods and have some fun with it. I was the only one of the two of us that ever caught anything.
I just, I just can't picture you being someone, knowing who you are. I can't picture you just walking around your house being like, hey, a fishing pole. I'm going to go fishing today. I'm bored.
That's because the fishing poles ain't in the house; they're down in the shed.
But even then, I don't see you waking up thinking, you know what, I'm going fishing today. I don't ever see that as your style. That's what I'm getting at.
Out of all the times you've been down in that shed, you have not noticed the 8 to 10 different fishing poles
I thought they
hanging
were
on the
your
rope.
families, but no. The point is, you said you would just go on your own. You go by yourself. I can't.
Yeah,
I've never pictured you being able to do that. Not being able to. I've never pictured you doing that.
yeah. If I'm bored
Granted, I've always
enough,
gone fishing with people. I've never gone solo fishing.
yeah. If
I
I'm
got,
bored
I got
enough,
two
ain't got
fishing
nothing
rods.
else to do, might as well.
Yeah, I got two fishing rods in my car right now. The second that sucker warms up, I'm back at it.
Oh, well, you don't want to go ice fishing?
I ain't never been ice fishing. I don't even know.
No,
I'm
I
like, I'm
do.
about,
I do want
I,
to go ice fishing. I also
y'all
want to go
might have to
fly
teach me.
fishing, but that's another topic.
Y'all might have to teach me how to ice fish because I'm like, listen,
It's the
when
same thing. You just need a thick enough piece of ice and something to make a hole.
Yeah, you drill a hole in the water. You grab a chair. You sit next to it,
You
and you
literally
don't let
just,
it.
yeah, instead of like casting a line out into the middle of the lake or whatever, if the lake's fully
mm,
frozen over, you literally take your stuff, you go sit out in the middle of the frozen lake, punch a hole
mm.
into the ice, and just drop your thing straight through the hole instead of casting it out.
And you don't want the hole to freeze over while the line's in there.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey, you didn't know that,
God.
Miles?
I did not know how simple it's. Y'all making it sound I just been missing my life this whole time. Every winter I just
It
pack
is.
my
It's as
stuff up.
simple as it sounds. Doesn't mean you're going to catch anything, but that's fishing in general. But yeah, it's as simple as it sounds. You literally make a hole, throw the line down, and you wait.
Yeah. The only
Mm.
reason you probably think it's different than that is because if you hadn't ever done it before, which around here you ain't likely to have ever done it because it don't freeze. Well,
I haven't been.
it freezes, but not
You're not
nearly
going ice.
enough.
You're not going ice fishing in Richmond, Virginia. That's for sure.
Nah.
Yeah, they ain't definitely not.
Maybe in
Yeah,
the mountains by Appalachia and Charlottesville if it gets cold enough, but you're not. But
see,
you're not going ice fishing on the James River
that's why I
anytime
said
soon.
next time I go overseas to like Sweden or something, I'm gonna definitely get me some ice fishing in. Now that
Oh,
I
they got a lot of that out there. They even have it up in Alaska and other in Canada too, with all the what is
see,
it, the
yeah,
Hudson Lake and the Alaskan glaciers and all that stuff. Any
that's
place with glaciers has ice fishing.
well,
Any place with enough ice has ice fishing.
and so you saying this whole time these fish just down there just chilling while the whole roof of their house is frozen over.
Yeah,
Yeah. What?
That's
What?
crazy.
It's not like
it's
it's not like fish are going out of the water all day every day, and they're like, oh great, I'm trapped. They're
that,
under the water all the time.
and even
So
when it gets cold enough for the ice and everything to form on the top of the water, it's not like it freezes all the way to the bottom.
y'all done,
It's a couple inches of ice.
y'all done
Yeah.
taught me something new because I swear them fish were down there frozen as can be out here
Oh
waiting
no,
to be.
No,
if it froze
the
all the way
water
to the
freezes from top bottom.
yeah, if it
Hmm.
froze all the way down, every fish in the water would be dead. They'd just be a frozen block of ice. Then
I know
whenever it
what
thawed,
happened.
you'd have a bunch of dead fish on the water.
Yeah,
I
based on
remember what happened.
thermodynamics. Because of
Correct.
thermodynamics, the water freezes from the top down. It doesn't freeze all at once or from the bottom up.
Mm, mm. I never knew. I never knew. I never knew. I
So,
swear them fifth graders out here just in
so
there. Oh,
Matt,
well, I'm frozen.
it looks like I'm an icicle today.
Yep. I'll wait. I'll wait till summer.
Put a stick through me. I'm a lollipop. Matt, so you've been solo fishing. I've never been solo fishing. How is that different than fishing with people? I mean, I know you can just say, oh, you're with company or whatnot, but in all honesty, is there a different mindset to it, or is there a different appeal to solo fishing compared to being with other people?
It's kind of going to vary from person to person. For me, it's a nice escape to where it's quiet. You put your phone on mute or just turn it off. Uh, Listen to some music, just hanging out and relaxing. Just turn your mind off and just being out there. That's what I did.
I just find it so hard to see you away from technology that long. Just because you're no, just because you're so, for lack of a better word, capable with it. There's so much for you to explore and do. I forget that sometimes you do like the real
It has its moments.
So Miles, you go deep sea
Yeah.
fishing often? I've been fishing off the coast a couple times. I haven't been out where you don't see the lighthouse. I've been at
Man,
places where I haven't been that far out, but I have been off
I've
the
been out
coast
so
and
far
decent.
that I realize I will think about I'm not making it back to shore if anything happens. I've accepted death multiple times in my life going fishing.
Same here, but that's a conversation for another day. I
Yeah.
was just talking to someone about that last week, but
Shoot, I'll look at that water. I'll be like, listen, this water, you know, I don't know what Greek guys I need to talk to, but listen, all right, guys, I'm a great man. You know, I do my taxes. Like, I just be talking. It's like, listen, I'm a great man. Don't take me today. Shoot, and then when you see them sharks that be coming up next to you, and you know what, like going fishing in the Atlantic, you catch a wide variety of, of fish, but nah, I tell everybody, you need to go out there and go shark fishing. Go out there and see the water where you don't see no land. It's a great experience. And then obviously you crack open a couple of beers. As long as you ain't driving that boat, it's a good experience.
yeah, I've been. Let me restate that. I've been that far out because I was on a cruise once, but I haven't been that far out fishing where you just go out there and just sit there because that's your
Hmm.
destination or wherever you just decide to stop. Um,
Gotcha.
so
Well, hey,
I do know what that visual is like. We're like, yeah, everything's gone. Nice. Uh,
yeah,
what's next?
that's all you got. That's the move though. It's bliss. It's relaxed. You got to do it one day. You got to go out there and just say, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I tell everybody, now that I have my boating license,
Oh,
y'all
you
want
got
to
a
go out
boating
there?
license.
Yeah, I just got mine. Got my boating license, took the class, passed the test. I got it, so I know exactly what I need to supposed to do. Well, let me say supposed to do on the water.
Nice.
And
Congrats. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Seeing as
man.
how he's passed and there's no legal repercussion for him anymore, I will say that my brother-in-law went online and did the boating license test for my
Mhm.
grandfather. My grandfather had no idea how to drive a boat, and he was out there with a boating license. So just because someone has the license don't mean they actually know anything.
Well, that's the same with the driver's license, but we're not going on to that tangent.
That's
Driver's
details. Yeah.
license, you at least have to go in and pass the test in person. Boating
Not in every
license can,
state.
at least here. But the boating license, I was completely done online by a completely separate person with
Hmm.
someone else's name, and they just seemed like, "Yep, sure," and mailed it to him.
Yeah, he said. It's funny. He says since the statute of limitations is gone. Oh, that is hilarious.
What were you saying, Miles? Before I interrupt you, you got your boating license, and then
Oh,
uh,
no, if y'all ever want to go out on the water, shoot, I'm licensed to do it now.
you're looking to buy a boat, or are you just looking to rent
That's the
boats for a
goal.
while?
That's the goal is to buy a boat, but
Mm,
boats be costly at times. And that's why I just said I'm just gonna take my time on buying a boat.
And then you got to get the trail hitch to carry the boat. Then you got
And I gotta get the truck, and I got to get the oh, see, my knees hurt just thinking about
that old
it.
Yeah.
that old age kicking in.
That's what I said. I know deep down it's gonna happen, but right now I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna give me a boat
You,
though.
you got the first step down. That's what matters. Now you just got to start
Exactly.
going. So how
Next
often do
thing,
you go? How often do you go deep sea fishing? I'm curious because I've been on the
I'm gonna be
James River
honest.
quite a few times. I've been off the coast a few times. I haven't gone deep sea fishing, which I want to do.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I only go deep sea fishing when I go with family. So my uncle he has a boat, and that's how he does. He goes out there and catch shark, white and croaker, all the legal fish that you can catch, and then he got all the different types of licenses, so a he can get sharks. He can catch like past the legal limit because he has the what's it called, commercial license for it. That's the only time I go out deep seeing. But I'm the type of dude to where if I'm here, if I'm in on the East Coast, I'm gonna freaking say I'm a shore dude. So I'll just throw the line out to as far as I can, which is probably like only like 100 yards, and
Just
catch it from
standing on the beach, standing on a bridge, something like that.
yeah. Yes. What was the what was the damn SpongeBob reference?
The hooks, Lassie. The hooks, Lottie.
was sitting on the beach. That's that
Oh
thing.
yeah,
That
that's
thing.
dancing on the beach. Do 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 do. Dancing on the
Yeah,
beach. Do do
exactly.
do do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole animation.
You said
Yeah.
you've cast roughly 100 yards.
Uh-huh.
I think you might have meant feet or something, but either way, but question
Yeah,
for you
yeah.
with it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I got a catfish line that when they toss it out, it actually shows you how far it is. And I like if I put a 4 ounce, or like a four, I think it was a 4 ounce or a 6 ounce, I can launch it. I can launch it far.
oh yeah,
Are you
but
catching release miles?
I'm a catch and a release. But if like people needed like fish for a fish fry, I can definitely hook some people up.
Gotcha. What were you
yeah.
I can
saying,
catch
Matt?
them.
How do you set your lines up? Because I know the way I've always done it, that I've had the best luck with it. I'm pretty sure is not the way most people say you're supposed to set up your line.
See, saltwater is different from freshwater. So for me, saltwater, I'm a high-low type of guy. So I'll have a low hook and I'll have a high hook. So I can get to both levels of wherever the fish swimming at.
Oh, you're
And
over
then
my head already. I like it. I'm
I
curious.
What I'm getting at though is I have the hook roughly 6, 8 inches up. I have the lead weights. Then about a foot and a half up from that, I've got a buoy, a little
oh, okay.
bobber.
So you're doing more of the bobber method. So you see
Yeah,
that sucker drop down, you're gonna grab it. Yeah. See,
yeah. But
the best,
most people
the
that
best,
I've talked to,
right?
whenever I show them how I have that set up, they say I'm not supposed to have those weights on there.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But then whenever I've gone commercial fishing with people, like on a tour boat or something, they always put the weights on.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm thinking that's more experience, but I think more fish. Honestly, I think it depends on what type of fish you're going for. Because certain fish, if they're like the bottom feeders and they hit a weight, they gone, they spooked.
Oh yeah,
So
I
it depends on
use
what type of
I moreover use the weight to just be able to get the line cast out because
get out there.
the buoy, the bobber, it don't have no weight to it because it
Yeah,
floats.
exactly.
So I use the weights to get it out there, and then I'm just bobber fishing after that.
Yep. Yep, man. No, I'm in the same boat. And if someone says, "Hey, that ain't the right way to do it," I'll be like, you know what? Hey, listen, I've been doing it. I've been catching fish. All right, so I want you to know I'm doing it the way the fish like it. All right, I'm giving them a bon appetit appetizer every time.
Yeah, I
Do you
just wanted to get your
prefer?
opinion on that.
Yeah, man. I don't think it's there's people that they do it this way, they do it that way, and at the end of the day, it's like your experience fishing. Now, if you out here trying to catch as many fish as possible, I'd expect everybody to be like, I'm gonna go after the best way to catch fish. Which honestly, I don't know if there really is one unless you're a professional.
Or with a giant net like they do in the Atlantic? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not front. Them giant net people, boy, them deep sea guys, I don't care what we catch. We're gonna throw it out there. We're gonna drag it. We're gonna pull it up. They be those guys be getting all the type of fish. But hey, that's their business. Hey, it's a business, and that's the game. That's the game of
Yeah.
life, you know.
Miles, would you ever enter a fishing competition?
I have, I
You
actually
have.
have. Yeah, I
All right.
have. So
Did you do the
I did.
what's it called? The Governor's Fishing Challenge in Virginia?
No, so I did a.
Because
It
that one's got a
was.
big, that one's got a good reward, and it's a state-sponsored event.
I've never done that one. The only one I've done was there was one in South Carolina that I did to where it was a. What were we targeting? We were targeting sea bass, and it was like the first one to seven. And my uncle was like, "You want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I know exactly what spot we need to go to." He took me to a spot. We only caught four the whole day. We were just like, "All right, now we caught four, but those we were like, all right, let's see what everyone else did." Man, those guys out there caught like sea bass that were like freaking this big, but they were catch release, obviously, because you only legally allowed to keep two.
Yeah,
But
I actually, I think, yeah, last July, I was at a wedding down in South Carolina. I think it was like Anderson, South Carolina, something like that. And I was at this lake as part of with the groomsmen and all of them, just kind of with the families, just hanging out. 2 days after we left that house, that same house was used in the videos showing that the high school fishing competition was going on that lake. I'm like, wow, I could have stayed and watched that. I did watch it on TV, but they're just catching and releasing everything. Like I didn't see any fish the entire 3, 4 days I was there. And these guys
now
are just catching them nonstop.
there's this YouTuber that I've been watching, and his YouTube channel is is hilarious. It's called Niggas on the River. And they have the Jeffersons. They have the Jeffersons theme song for every time, for every intro. And they're like, and they do fishing competitions all the time. But they're just brothers out there smoking weed in Seattle and making competitions for other people. Man, I want to go out there because their reward is they give out what's it called? They give out like weed as the prize. Like yo, that's I gotta go out there just to see that experience. Brothers out there smoking weed on boats and just going out there fishing.
Mm,
I want to enjoy that. I want to go out there one day, and I had to throw that out there because it just gave me that picture in my head.
mm. I think I'll
Oh,
pass on that one.
man. Shoot.
Slight tangent off of fishing.
Go
Magnet
on. Go
Fly
fishing.
on.
fishing. Fly fishing. What?
Magnet fishing.
Yo, all right. So there's that
Can you
dude on
remind
you.
me what that is real quick? I know I've heard it. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Pulling up metals and things off of like reek and riverbed, reek, ew, lakes and riverbeds
Mhm.
with a magnet tied to a rope.
Yes.
I,
Yeah, that's
I
it.
love
Go
it.
on. I haven't done
I
that,
love it.
but yeah.
I've never done it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I watch those guys on YouTube that do it. Amazing,
Hmm.
amazing. Those guys be pulling up guns, be pulling up.
I've seen people
Man,
pull up motorcycles out of it.
crazy. That's
Literally like a
crazy.
magnet no bigger than your fist on a rope, throwing it out there, it get caught on the thing, and that magnet somehow has enough force that two, three people pulling on that rope are able to drag a motorcycle that's half buried in the mud underwater out onto the shore.
Yeah, I can
That's
see
crazy.
that happening.
I've never seen that video yet, but I'm gonna have to.
I'll see if I can't find it and shoot you the link to it later. But just
Absolutely, absolutely.
the things you can find and the things you don't want to find doing that type of fishing can be interesting.
Facts. No, and also it kind of gets that iron and the copper out of the water too.
Oh yeah.
And that's the one thing where I'm like, you know what? If we could do just a super magnet and just pull it everything, and then honestly, you know for a fact you're gonna find stuff that people weren't trying to have fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, heck, one of them that I watched, guy, he called it an explosive. It was the like primary thing for a grenade, yes, but it didn't
Mm.
have the actual shell or anything. And dumbass actually clicked the thing and triggered it and burnt his
Oh,
hand on it. But like I said, it's just a
Oh,
trigger mechanism for it, so there was no actual explosive. Called the cop and almost got himself arrested for making a false explosive report.
wow, 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 wow. That's crazy. No, no, I'll tell you this, man. I honestly, the dude, I don't know what it was. He found like a claymore or something.
Yeah, I've seen that one. He found like
Video.
4 or 5 dummy practice claymores. Yeah. Thought they were real, then I think what was it? He took it to his father or whatever. His father knocked off the dirt
Mhm.
on the back and it's like for practice.
For practice, I was like, oh my god, you man, I'd have crapped my pants. I'll tell you that.
I'd,
I'd have been there.
if you know how those things work, they either would have been inert by that point or they would have already been triggered just due to how
Yeah.
those things are activated.
So, but that's where I'm just like, man, that's the scary part about magnet fishing. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. I mean, you never know what you could ever find. If it's got
Mm,
anything magnetic or metal on it, you could potentially find it.
You could find it exactly, and but I'll tell you, my big thing, if I went magnet fishing, I'd get extra hooks so I ain't got to go back and buy some more. That's what I do. I'd go to all the fishing hot spots that got snags, and I'm going there and get my hooks back. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
get you some
That's
new hooks,
too
some lures. Yeah, you'd be able to find all that with that.
mm-hmm.
They this is gonna be probably a really dumb question. Do they have like special fishing rods just for magnet fishing? I know you
Oh, you
said it's
don't use
just
a
putting the
rod.
mag. Oh,
You
you
don't.
don't?
For what
No.
fishing?
Yeah, no. Magnet fishing, you don't use a rod. It's literally just a long rope tied to a powerful magnet. There is no rod. It's
Oh,
just
it is the
classified
actual
as
rope. I
magnet.
thought.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
classified as magnet fishing because you're tossing it into the water like you would be with fishing.
I was
But
just literally visualizing someone just taking a. They just take the magnet off the side of their boat, like, all right, magnet fishing time, and they just chuck it out and start reeling it back,
oh,
dragging what they can
nah,
across the
nah,
bottom.
Mm.
no, nothing like that. No rods involved. I mean,
Speaking of no rods involved, noodling. Miles, you ever go noodling? Ever want to go noodling? Know what noodling is?
I still don't know what noodling is. I think, like, let me give you a wild guess. Noodling is when you ride a big old floaty down the water super fast,
I
and the way because it's going fast, the floaty looks like a noodle.
I'm gonna
That
have to
is,
probably say
I love that.
no.
I love that explanation. I like that a lot.
So,
No, the
Let me take
noodling
my
is
guess. Let me take my guess real quick. Is that the like catfishing thing where you fish with your
yeah,
hand, sticking
yep.
your hand in the hole? Yeah.
You waddle
oh,
through the water, Miles. You waddle through the water, like in the muddy water and whatnot, and you feel with your hands for openings in the ground. So you put your hands into the holes, and usually a catfish will bite your hand, and you pull it out with
oh,
your
them
fist.
people crazy. No, no,
Yeah,
I'm not noodling. I'm not
they lo-
noodling. There's no way in the world I'm noodling. You ain't
some of the
sticking my
best world
hand.
champ some of the best world
Absolutely.
champ noodlers only have two fingers left, not including,
Oh my
and
God.
they do
See,
it for
that's where
decades.
it's like, that's where I feel like karma's gonna come back and I'm gonna stick my hand in a bull shark mouth and it's over for my damn whole arm. Cause bull sharks, and that's the one thing. It's like, nah,
They usually do this in
water's too
creeks. This
scary.
isn't usually done too much out in beaches and whatnot. This is done in like swamps and beaches, or
Mm-mm.
not beaches,
When
creeks,
when I
You
when
do
I
it in a
found
lakes.
out a
swamp,
bull shark,
wait for the alligator or crocodile.
yeah, no, no, absolutely not.
Nah, I'm gonna
I was,
stay on the dry land or in the boat.
You don't ever want to go noodling? Have
No.
you seen? They used to have a TV channel, or a show on TV. I think it was maybe Animal Planet, where they talked about noodling. And people
Uh,
just they do tour groups. People go out there as a tour, and they get taken around and they go noodling for the first or second time. A lot of them always sign a waiver that says, I might lose a
mm-mm-mm.
finger or something. But
yeah, no. If I'm
it's
signing a waiver saying I might lose a part of my body doing this, I'm not gonna be doing
Absolutely not.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely not. No, sir.
what's even more fun about this is if you've ever seen some of the good videos. At least I call them good. Granted, if you grab them, it's still a full fish you're fighting in the water, and the only thing you have holding it down is your one hand. Just
inside of
has
it.
its mouth, and then your other hand's holding a bat to knock it unconscious. So
Oh
you have to
my
pick
god.
that thing up and whack it till it goes still, so it doesn't keep fighting.
I
And then they walk around with more fish because they go noodling for multiples at a time, not just like one fish and go back to the shore.
I'd rather go bow fishing.
Yeah, see, and that's one thing I want to do. I want to go bowfish for snakeheads. I would love to do that.
You
Bowfish when
said
you bowfish
so,
when you use a crossbow
Nah,
oh
nah, nah.
yeah,
It's not a crossbow. It's a compound bow.
compound bow. When you use a bow, compound bow. So,
okay, yeah, I don't know this.
yeah, it's sight fishing. That's the real sign of sight fishing.
Yeah, you take a bow, you got a couple of special arrows that have like nylon rope, like thin, lightweight, not but strong nylon rope attached to the back of the arrow. You literally try and spot a fish in the water, and then you aim at it with a bow, fire. If you hit it, you then just pull the rope back. It pulls the arrow back and the fish with it if you hit it. It
Mhm.
is not able to be catch and release because you are obviously shooting a fish with an arrow, but
Absolutely.
that
So
Now,
takes skill
so
with
it's
being able to see the fish and skill with a bow. That would be fun.
yes, so it's spearfishing, but
With a bow. Yeah,
archery version. Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
God, I want to go spearfishing so much. I really
yeah,
want to do.
this is
I
amazing.
need to see if I can find the clip that I had seen before. Guy was on top of either a bridge or a dam. I can't remember which one. Shot a bow going bow fishing all the way down and managed to nail one.
That's crazy. That's where I'm like, that's either luck or that I don't know. Man, that's talent or luck. God, my thing is like you got to wear some special glasses, or you just got that instinct where it's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's some fish over here. Let me go shoot it. Oh God, oh, that's talent, amazing.
Yeah,
What a
it's good
talent level.
good reaction timing too. That's always even more fun to watch.
I'm like,
Here.
I'm like, Milan could have used you in the war. Let me stop.
Yeah. Don't don't quite know if that was the one I was thinking of, but that adds still a decent distance away that I
Yeah,
just sent
no,
you
that's
to.
cool.
Gotcha.
Shoot.
I'll look at it later.
Oh yeah, it's interesting.
Oh no, I've learned about two. Well, granted, I knew of bow fishing. I didn't know it was called bow fishing. So I'm
Mhm.
learning some stuff today. Magnet fishing, I completely forgot that was a thing. Um, the only other common type of fishing, at least what I assume is common that people talk about that I'd be interested in doing is fly fishing. Um,
Fly
that one's
fishing. Fly fishing's hard. Fly fishing. I don't know. Like
That
I feel like
takes practice.
yeah, I feel like you throw your shoulder out a couple of times before you get good at fly fishing.
Yeah, because you are literally casting that thing with just the weight of the fishing line itself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And you gotta get waders, and you gotta get a
Oh
whole lot of
no.
stuff.
Well, depending on how you do it, you can fly fish from a dock, but yeah, most time when you think of fly fishing, you think of the guy out there with the waders on. But no, you can fly fish from a dock. You just have to be like the only person on the dock.
clear the field. This is mine.
Yeah, exactly. Fly fish away.
I got here
so,
first. Or no, I got here last, but I'll be the only one when I'm done.
so, so everybody, good luck, everybody. Start fly fishing. Whipping it back and forth. You taking throwing wigs in the water and everything. Shoot.
I know
But
we
yeah, man.
I know one of the other groups had done an anime thing, so I'm gonna avoid it. But just in case y'all are interested, I actually did just send you a link of one that's airing this season that involves fly fishing
Is that?
as one of the main
Stop
focus.
playing. There's a fly fishing anime.
Yes,
I'm
Yeah,
about to.
I think I heard of that recently. I didn't look into it because it didn't come out yet, but I did hear about that.
yeah, it's airing right now. They're 4 episodes in.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm watching. You even got.
I mean, it's not completely about the fly fishing. It is like a typical slice of life show, but the characters bond over fishing. So yes, it is a key element, but it is not the main focus.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably check that out later.
Yeah.
Going back to our conversation. So, uh, Miles, in
Yeah.
particular,
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
asking you. I'm asking you because I know you travel a bit more than the two of us. Are there any locations other than South Carolina? Because that's where I've had some of my fishing experience too. But are there
Hmm.
other locations where you really think are prime? Just go sit up and fish all the time. Not like where's your spot, but if you want to go
Ooh.
start fishing, you always go down to South Carolina because that's your best experience, or you go to
What?
Texas or something.
Oh man, out of all places, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Tennessee is probably the best place to just be like, you know what, guys, I'm just gonna go fishing, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. And Tennessee got a whole bunch of lakes, and that's the one thing. Like, if maybe like
So
if
does
I ever get
Minnesota.
yeah, if I ever got to experience the Great Lakes, I'd be able to say, hey, the Great Lakes. But Tennessee has like the little, and it's all freshwater, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's like you just go over there. You're like, hey, I'm gonna go fishing today, and then you walk to some old man and be like, how's your day, man? He just talks your ear off the rest of the day, and just you learn so much about it. Tennessee's probably my favorite.
Okay, I've been fishing down in South Carolina, obviously here in Virginia, and I've also been fishing off the coast of Long Island, New York, a couple times. So
Ooh,
I haven't,
Long
I
Island.
haven't, I haven't been too much inside of mainland with freshwater. A lot of what I do is estuaries and on the Chesapeake Bay, or obviously in the saltwater areas.
Okay,
Do
shoot,
you, pre-
maybe
do you
what I want
prefer
to do.
fresh? Do
Oh, good, good.
you prefer freshwater or saltwater? Because I know you
I
mentioned
prefer
lakes.
saltwater. I prefer saltwater. I prefer saltwater because the variety is so crazy with saltwater.
Okay, Matt, what
Freshwater, you
about you?
know.
I don't know if I've ever truly gone saltwater fishing. In terms of my best places, I've can't really say I've got many, and with my memory for names of things, even if I remembered them, I couldn't tell you. There was one place that was a like every year for one of my aunt's works, they had a like large fishing pond at their office building, and they have a company get together fishing thing there, like once every year or so. And so we do that when she still worked there, obviously. And
Mhm.
other than that, I think I fished a little bit in the James. Can't remember the other one here in Virginia that I've fished in. I'd probably remember it later if you didn't ever actually ask me.
Oh, okay.
And when I was out in Oklahoma staying with a friend out there for a while, I never even bothered learning the name of the place in Oklahoma I was staying, so I definitely couldn't tell you the lake. But uh,
I'm just north
So
of Texas. That's all I know.
yeah, I want to say it was somewhere near Grove. Yeah, Grove, Oklahoma, but there's a couple lakes out there, so I couldn't tell you which one. We never really had much luck, I think, in the 6 months I was down there, and out of the dozen or so times we went fishing, I caught one real tiny little fish, and that was it. He never caught anything.
dang, dang. Hey,
What were
that's
you
the
saying about?
game.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I'll say that's the game about fishing. You know, there's days I've sat in there and sat in the water for 3 hours and nothing,
Oh yeah.
and that
Yep.
after a while I'm just like, man, maybe I'm just too stupid that the fish is looking at this line like this fool really think they gonna get me, or they just not there.
Yeah,
That's the game of fishing.
I do like that aspect of fishing where it's unpredictable and you can have a really good day, you can have a casual day, or not. You get nothing. But you still.
Mhm.
Some of my best times fishing have been where we get one bite and nothing gets caught. Um, just because
Give
it's
you enough time to think about your life.
yeah. But anytime I've gone fishing, it's always been with other people. I've never been solo fishing. Uh,
Sure.
but usually, what's funny is when I go with a group of people, anytime I've gone with someone new, whether it's me or them or someone else, someone always has a lot of fish they catch on that day. Whenever there's a new person there, it's like beginner's luck, even if it's not for the beginner. Uh, but then anytime I go back to a location, like up in Long Island, I went there and for the first 3 hours we were on the boat, caught like, I don't know, 3 fish an hour. It was just going at it. And not just like, oh, a little guppy. It was, a decent sized 2 foot fish or something. But uh, we're like, oh yeah, let's go back and do another 2, 3 hours, and then nothing. Just nothing. I was like, all right, well, I got a sunburn out of this, so I'll take it. But
Yeah, no, that's same feeling.
What's the craziest person y'all have dealt with while fishing?
Oh, it's always Karens. It's always Karens. It's always a late. I've had a lady to where she was yelling, "Get off my water!" And I was like, "Ooh, it's my moment to shine." And then my friend was just like, "No, just let you know." I'm the type of dude. I like the confrontation of people saying, "Oh, I own this water." Be like, "Ma'am, you don't own no water. All water is either
open.
controlled by the state or federal." And no, man,
Yeah,
this lady was just yelling her tail off. She, get off my water. And I'm just like, man, we docked at a public landing just like you did.
yeah,
Stop fishing. And I was like, man, this got to be one of them PETA people.
Yeah, when I was fishing off the northern end of Long Island, they did I forget, they did the bells, the calls, whatever it is, for all the commercial fishermen and all the recreational people to come back in. Um, because all the tour groups are on like hour, 2 hour rotations, so they get the bell, they come on back in. So everyone's heading back to port at the same time. And as everyone's
Mhm.
getting together, you had this one guy in his speedboat trying to cut off all these commercial fisher groups. He's got his little dinger of a boat against these commercial boats with 2 stories tall, 40 feet plus long. And he's just literally trying to cut in front of them as close as possible, cause a crash. So then as soon as he got back to port, they they arrested him because he was trying to crash his boat into people because he was complaining that they weren't making space for him. He was literally screaming, "I need more space." Uh, that's the craziest I've seen. Other things I've seen are just people on the boats having fun.
yeah.
But
Yeah, no,
My
I've seen a
worst,
boat. Oh, go ahead, my
yeah,
bad.
my worst experience with someone going crazy or doing something stupid while fishing comes. Y'all gonna make a joke about age, but when I was a kid, I went out with. Yeah, yeah. I went out with a friend at the time. I haven't spoken to them in a decade at least, but went out with his parents. We went out fishing. I'm
Mhm.
right-handed. They were telling me that I'm only allowed to cast left-handed. I try to
Okay.
cast left-handed, and where they put me as a kid, there's a fucking branch above my head, so I couldn't cast it at all. I stepped over, moved over to the other side of him, cast right-handed as he's walking behind me as I'm casting, and yeah, of course, I end up catching him with the hook in his arm. They make a big fuss. They yell at me, all that stuff. They got it out of his arm, fine. I'm sitting over there at the picnic table. They're yelling at me still, and the bitch takes the hook and tries to slam the hook into my leg.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Thank
Oh wow.
God I've always had good reaction times because
Oh
I
wow.
avoided that, and she actually embedded that hook into the wood of that picnic table. That's how much force she was putting behind that against a
Oh,
kid. When her
that is
husband is
wild.
the one that made the mistake of walking behind someone while they're casting.
Wow. Yo,
Yeah. Needless to
that's the
say, we did
wildest thing
not
I've
talk
heard.
about that much. We don't talk about it much no more.
what's your maybe not your favorite, but what's one of the more interesting catches you've had? Whether it's something that you pulled up. Now, granted, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So now, granted, it doesn't have to be like the biggest thing you caught. It doesn't have to be the strangest thing you caught. But what's one of your more memorable catches that you've ever had?
I caught a boot.
I've done that too,
Did you say a
and it
boot?
and it
Oh
and it
god.
was mine.
Nah,
I'm
this was
sorry.
this was a random. It was a
I reeled up a boot in the James River and I put it right back. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie.
This was out in Oklahoma. There was like a highway overpass going across the lake, about 5, 6 miles from where we were, and I don't know how long it was there. It looked like it was the like generic Timberland boot, or maybe even a knockoff. But yeah, I pulled up one of them, and it looks like the second one, the laces had been tied so that they were a pair, but the other one had broken off. The laces had rotted out. But yeah, I fished up a random Timberland boot. That was the most interesting thing I've caught.
A Timberland boot. Golly. All right. The most interesting thing I've
Uh,
caught was this.
hashtag not a sponsor. Go on.
That is crazy. Y'all said a goddamn boot. That's hilarious. That is
I have
hilarious.
other stories, but what were you saying, Miles? What about you? What are some of your more
No,
memorable
my
catches?
greatest catch was a 9 foot hammerhead shark.
Okay.
That was my greatest catch. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I still don't know how I did it, but
How sore
my
were your arms afterwards? Like, was this something you finished?
oh
Like, I'm
no,
gonna
I'm
go
gonna be
take an
honest with
hour
you.
break.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't say I did it by myself. Me and my brother and my uncle took breaks. We we handed that sucker over. We were just like, all right, listen, I'm tired. I'm tired. Swap it over. All right.
Was that like you call it day? You call it a day, and you're like, all right, we got something. We're
Oh
going
yeah.
back.
Oh
We're
yeah.
not. We're
No,
not
we
doing
were
this
going.
again.
We went home after that. We all went home. We all went home because first of all, catching fish ain't just catching fish. You got to clean it after it. After it. So after you tired and all, your day ain't over.
You still got to clean. Yep.
Yep. You still
That
got to clean it.
that's one of the most annoying things about why I don't really get into hunting much anymore. Yeah, shooting guns is fun. I'll go to the range anytime. But fuck having to clean the
Yeah.
deer or the turkey or whatever you shoot. Fuck all that noise.
That's when it gets tiring. That's when your day just gets started.
Yeah, no, my hunting is I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna shoot some at the range, shoot some targets, have some fun. I'm gonna go to the store and buy a steak.
Yeah.
That's my hunting.
So
Yeah.
going back to memorable catches, I got one that wasn't per se. Well, yeah, first one is me. So when I was in Long Island, we were just catching. I forget what the fish was, but we were catching 1 foot, 2 foot long fish of various natures and
Mhm.
size. And one thing that so I was there with an old roommate of mine. He was showing me his favorite fishing place. This company that took us out and did all this stuff off the coast. So that was very enjoyable. But he's like, out here they have what are they called? They're small stingrays. They're not like full grown, 15-foot long stingrays, however big they get.
What is that called? Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm talking
I
about? The
know
ones
exactly
with
what
like
you're talking about. I know
a foot and a half
e-
across tip to
e-
tip.
exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call them rays because I don't know what they actually are. I can't remember right now. But so the first time I went fishing with him, he kept talking how much he wanted to get one because he wanted to try the wings because
Hmm.
it was a catch and keep kind of place. You catch it if it's the right size, they'll cut it up for you on the
Exactly.
way back.
Hmm.
So the second time I went fishing with him, like 2 years later, I caught one. So I reeled it in, and everyone on the vessel is just looking at me like, "You just is that a stingray?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a small one." Um, so
And
I don't have it with me right now, but I have a funny picture on my phone of just this thing in the bucket, of, pretty much in a bucket of blood, just looking up, mortified. And it just really highlighted the amusement I had out of actually catching this thing. Like, well, I'm not the one eating this. I got this from my buddy here. He's gonna be the one enjoying it. Another memorable story I have is let's say like a decade or so ago, 10, 15 years ago, me and my family used to routinely go visit some relatives that lived on the Chesapeake Bay. They had a house on the bay, and they had a dock and a boat, and we would go crab fishing all the time, especially because we were middle school, young high school age. We would just, cast a line of a chicken neck, chicken leg out in the water, and the crabs would pick
Hmm.
at it. You reel it in and you scoop it up with the net. Um, Seagulls were there all the time. So we're like, uh, my brother and I were like, yeah, let's try and catch one. Well, lo and behold, we threw it high enough once, and it came swooping down. A seagull came swooping down, grabbed the chicken neck, and got tangled in it, and then it started drowning. So, oh, we got to reel this in fast. So for the next about 5, 10 minutes, our dad had to put on some gloves and some stuff to try and hold the seagull down so it can get the line off of the seagull that's fighting it for its life because it's scared. It doesn't know what's going on. Um, Finally got it unhooked and we gave it the chicken neck and it ran away. But that was one of the funniest catches ever. It's like, oh dang it, we couldn't catch any crabs today, but we caught a seagull.
When was, when was the last time you went fishing?
Me?
Yeah.
Mm,
It wasn't last year. Might have been. I want to say about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, we gotta get you back out there. We gotta get you back out there.
Yeah, I haven't gone fishing much with the whole pandemic the last year and a half, 2 years. Not that I've used that as an excuse. I've been doing other stuff during that time. So the last time I went fishing was right before the pandemic. So about 2 years ago,
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah, last time I
Oh,
was out fishing was probably 2013, 2014. So it has been a while.
wow. Yep.
Then again, starting at 2015, I was in the accident that took me out for a couple years. So,
That's a podcast for another day. That's
oh god,
God, that is a great story. For me, it's great to
That's
hear.
yeah, yeah,
I'm ready to hear it one day. Oh, I gotta share that one day.
one day, not today though.
Not today though.
Is there any food or meals or drink other than just drinking? Is there anything you like to eat or do during your fishing trips? Some sort of routine? Like some people I know, they go out there like, oh yeah, I buy Popeyes every time I go fishing or things like that. Is there any like routine meals you do when you go fishing? Is it like a tradition or a custom, or is it just like I'm just grabbing a fishing pole and going?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Yoo-Hoo fan every time I go fishing.
Ah,
I,
dude, it's not when
What's
I
you,
went fishing, but whenever my grandfather took me hunting,
what's
the
you who?
corner store right at the end of the road while we're heading out, couple of
Mhm.
yahoos.
A couple of Yahoos. I don't know what it is about Yahoos. I feel like it's just something you need out there. Gives you that extra sugar you need.
Here's the question though:
I don't
chocolate or
reckon. What
strawberry?
is? I don't know what this is.
Oh,
What
I
is?
gotta.
What is Yahoo?
What is Yahoo? I
What
promise
is it? A
y'all,
Yoo-hoo? Yoo-hoo? Yahoo? What is
You,
it?
a Yoo-Hoo.
yeah, Yoo-hoo.
I don't recognize that term at all.
Well, no,
Oh my
it is Yahoo because the commercials are like Yahoo.
Yahoo. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so yeah, it's Yahoo.
Okay, that's why I wasn't recognizing it.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay,
but
well,
again,
sorry to
back to
hear
my
that.
question though: chocolate or strawberry?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
I don't think I've ever had the strawberry before. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It is a nice change of pace. I like them
Okay.
both equally. The
Okay.
chocolate is the more go-to, but if you just want that little bit of something to mix it up, but still get that good yoo-hoo flavor,
Okay.
yeah, strawberry is not bad.
Okay. Okay. You done told me something new. I'm gonna have to dabble in the strawberry now. Strawberry. I never didn't even know they even made strawberry.
Oh yeah.
Hey, yeah. I'm next time I go to the shop, I'm getting me some. God, strawberry Yahoo. Taught me something.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Uh,
You guys ever, Matt? I know you said you cooked fish plenty of times. Do you ever? I know you've done a lot of catch and release. How do you feel about having to descale a fish and actually clean it, or do you just prefer to cook the meat when someone else scales it?
Nah,
I
I'm
can
gonna be
do either
honest with
one.
you. If I could pay somebody to scale the fish, the amount of fish that I'd be catching, I think it would be beneficial. I would pay, but I'm also someone who will pay for someone to come and shampoo my carpets.
I
So
mean, yeah, if you're doing a lot of them, I could see you just getting sick of it, but just doing a couple, as long as you got the stuff, the tools and stuff to do it, it's not bad.
yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah. And or how have you not heard of Yoo-hoo? It's from the fucking Dr. Pepper company, man.
I recognized it. I just the way you were pronouncing it threw me off.
Ah,
Oh,
okay,
okay,
bad to
gotcha,
say.
gotcha.
Yeah, I was. That's why I was so confused. Like, what is this? It's a new accent. It's a new term I haven't heard before. What's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's the move. That's the I tell everybody. You if you ain't ever had a yoo-hoo, whew,
It's been a while. Yeah, I've had them. Uh, my normal routine, if I'm here in Virginia, usually I'm fishing with family. So our routine is because I usually go early morning, like before 4 o'clock, I'm on the water. Before 4 a.m., I'm on the water. So
you know what?
a nice Waffle House breakfast at 2 3 a.m. is fantastic.
Oh, oh,
But uh but when I was in Long Island, they don't have a Waffle House up there. So uh, my old roommate's routine is to go to this bagel shop like a half hour away. You know, New Yorkers love their bagels, but that's always a good one too because those are it's a lot of carbs to start the day, and then there's an extra bagel that we usually bring with us onto the trip, which can help sustain us, even though we pack more food and lunch and
see this.
snacks. But I do like a good bagel before I get on a boat or Waffle House in general at any time.
See, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just bought a hat that says "Shut up and fish." That's good. I'm gonna start making that a routine to where I need to put this hat on every time I go out there. People out here want to talk my ear off. You know, I gotta be like, listen, I just want this is my getaway from reality.
Do you have a full fishing outfit, like with the overalls and the boots and everything, or do you just like throw on some
I'm gonna be
sneakers and get going?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do have a pair of boots that I do every time I'm like, listen, if I'm gonna get near sand or get close to the water, I'm not putting any other shoes other than those boots on. I've had them boots on. I had them boots probably for about 5 years now. Oh wow. Yeah, they sit in my trunk. They sit in my trunk, and when I go fishing, I swap my shoes out, put those on. Dang, I never even thought about that. That's a great question. Maybe
Yeah, I didn't know if you had like the whole outfit decked out and everything, backup clothing and
mm-mm.
whatnot.
It depends. If it's summertime, I can wear anything. But if it's wintertime, I'm buckling up for because I'm not someone I don't like cold. I don't if I'm cold, my whole day's ruined.
Yeah.
Then don't go fishing on the Great Lakes because it's called, especially Chicago. It's the Windy City for a reason. Um,
You got a good point. Yep. Hmm.
I yeah, I've talked to plenty of people from New York and Boston and all these and Minnesota and all these places like, oh yeah, I hate Chicago. It's it's so windy out there. But I don't mind. I like the wind. It's just a matter of the chill that comes afterwards. A nice breeze does me well though.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There's
Would
difference in a
Shoot.
windy day and a day with wind chill. There's a big
exactly.
difference.
There's a exactly. There's a breeze versus there's an actual like drop in temperature. That's what I don't care for.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
drop in temperature would hurt my so I just I don't I'm talking if it's cold outside, I guess I ain't going outside today if I can help it.
I got one more tangent question for you guys, real quick. I know,
Oh,
Matt, you haven't been fishing in a long time. I know that. You just mentioned that. But is fishing something that you want to keep to yourself, or is this something that if you were on a date, you would want to take a date with you, or if you were married, you want to take your family and kids with you, or is this just something that you want to keep as a you thing? It's just your time to get away and you enjoy it.
that's a good question.
That is half of
That's
that
good.
question is a hard question because I've obviously never been married,
Exactly.
so
So while
can't
you guys
answer
think of
that half of it. But
yeah,
as for
while you
the
think about
taking
that,
one on a date, that would really depend on the person. If they're the type that can sit there and be quiet and just enjoy the company and relax, sure. If they're the one that's going to constantly be nagging you the whole time because they're bored with nothing to do, hell no.
it just helps you learn about them all the faster though, doesn't it?
No.
Nothing like being stuck with someone for 4 or 6 hours alone and no internet. It really
Yeah,
gets you
except
figure
that
out.
if they're that bored doing it and you're trying to just sit there, relax, and enjoy yourself, they are either going to ruin the fishing for you or make you hate them because they have already ruined the fishing for you. So it really depends on the person, if you ask me.
That's pretty
It,
good.
let's suggest before you answer, Miles, Matt. Let's suggest you got married and had kids for some reason, adopted, otherwise.
He
Would
said
you ever
for
want?
Very big if
would,
there.
I'm well aware of your backstory. So would you ever feel like you want to take your kids or their family out with you, other than like a date? Someone who someone who you've been living with 5, 10 years because you have to, but you enjoy their company because they're your direct family. Would you want to take them fishing, or would you just be like, yeah, well, if anything, we'll just go with a bunch of other people and just make it a larger family activity rather
Oh
than a
no, you
small
you
gathering?
don't go with large groups. That ain't what fishing's for.
By large, I mean
As
like 5, 6 people.
yeah, but in terms of like taking family with down there, if the person I'm married to, if they're enjoying, if they can enjoy it, yeah, fine. Taking the kids down there, I could definitely see that happening. Just see about getting them into it. See something that if they really start enjoying it, to take up their time, let them enjoy themselves. Good hobby. And of course, you always have that typical thing that you see in movies of it's the nice, quiet place that you can have the certain talks.
Man, I'm afraid. See, I have twofold to that. One, I can't see you having kids, and then two, I feel bad for whatever kid you're taking out there to have a talk to. I don't know what that talk's
I
gonna be,
have
but that's
already raised a generation that now has kids, and I'm helping raise their next generation.
again,
Okay,
I'm aware of your backstory, but the idea of
he's talking about the talk of sitting there
you
like
having your own child, and then you two are in a boat. It's like, all right, we're having a talk. It's like, oh God, I feel bad for that kid.
that
no,
kid.
it's not a talk. It's the talks. The father
Oh,
son
those talk.
talks.
Okay. I'm thinking the talks of listen. If you don't get right, you're going overboard.
Oh no, no. The
That's how the
embarrassing
conversation
keep
starts.
now it's the embarrassing talks that the kids might want to walk away from. Okay, we're out here on this boat about 50 feet from the shoreline. You either getting wet to get away from this conversation, or we're having this conversation.
Yeah, no, that's a real talk. That's one of them real talks out here. Listen, I don't want to have
E-
this talk. We gotta
Exactly.
do it.
So, Miles, what about you?
Oh,
How,
absolutely. My thing is, if I can't like fishing is a good hobby for me to where it lets me get away. If I can't have that hobby with my significant other, I don't think that significant other the person for me, or the hobby is just not right for that person. And then I'm gonna have to find another hobby that we both can get with. But my kids are definitely going fishing. My kids going fishing from day one out here catching little fish. I want you to understand that if you ever are in a situation where you gotta find food, fishing is that way. Fishing is gonna be the way to feed your family if you ever in
depends on
that
where you
situation.
are. Yeah, I mean, if you're living out in the Sahara, no. But
Now, if you're out in the Sierra, yeah, we're gonna hunt. All right, we're gonna practice hunting too. All right, we're gonna.
there you go, spear hunting, and spear fishing. You're gonna learn to
Oh,
manage a spear no matter what.
exactly. We're gonna learn the chance and everything.
Yeah,
We're
for
gonna do
me,
that.
I would also like to take my family or some kids, my kids, strangers. I don't know. Just find a kid on the sidewalk and just grab them. But we're going fishing today. You're gonna learn, and we're gonna have some talks,
We're
detox.
gonna learn together.
No, but no, I would. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get my own boat. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go through that whole process. But I went fishing with my siblings and my dad. I enjoyed that very much, and I still do it without my family. I do it with friends. So I would definitely see myself being able to do it with my own future family, whether spouse, kids, whoever. It is
Absolutely.
something I enjoy.
Absolutely, and that's something I think more people you got to find that joy that as a whole we can come together because you don't want to just be like, "Well, this is my hobby. I better figure something out." Nah, that don't
Yeah.
you're gonna learn to like it because I like it.
Yeah, no.
exactly.
When you're in a relationship like that, your hobbies are sometimes supposed to be your escape, but they're not supposed to be a no, this is mine, you don't get to be a part of it type deal. It's
Yeah,
a hobby that you should be able to involve the others with, but if they don't match well with that hobby or they don't like it, then
You
it's
never
your little
force it
escape.
on them.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
force it
then
on
you
them,
still
it's your
free.
escape. But you should
Yeah.
always
Absolutely.
find some common ground.
Yeah, you can have mutual interests that you both like, and then you can have exclusive interests that you respect that you're just not personally interested. It's like, yeah, that's your thing. You go have fun with it. You like bowling, I don't. Go have fun.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, man. That's but that's what comes with growing up. Because if you'd have asked me a couple of years ago, I'd have been like, listen, this is my thing. They find their own, maybe soap opera, maybe knitting. See, I'm gonna go fishing. I'll see you. I'll see you in 3 hours.
If
And
you if you come anywhere close, I'm gonna hit you with the fly fishing.
you come
I
anywhere
clear
close,
I clear the field.
I'm taking the boat out. But just know, I'm docking here because I want you to know if I don't come back, that's the direction I headed. All right. Please tell the please tell the Coast Guard where to find.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's about that's about the time we got for today. But
Oh wow, that was
yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
thank you
Oh,
everybody for listening. This was another episode of Unfiltered Pineapple with Matt, Miles, and Orik. We
yeah.
had a fun time talking about fishing. I didn't know much about Matt and Miles and their fishing. Well, I knew Miles had some, but I didn't know much about Matt's experience. So we all learned a few things. We all enjoyed a few things. This was great. You guys got anything
Absolutely.
last bit you want to say to close?
I appreciate the lessons on and now I know about strawberry Yahoo.
yeah.
I will tap in.
All right.
Miles, I did share also the Virginia Governor Fishing Challenge. I forget if it's
Okay.
semi-annual or annual, but if you're interested, they do that. It's a state-sponsored event every year in
You
Virginia.
know what? I think our next podcast should be on a fishing boat.
I am not taking my equipment out on the water. So sorry about
All
that,
right.
but that ain't happening.
Thank you, everybody, and have a great night. Thanks for listening, and stay safe, stay healthy.